Hey guys, Matt here. So in this video, I'm just going to be really talking to you guys about the, very, very common problem that we see. A very, very common situation, and it impedes a lot of clients trying to go to the market and sell their products and services, right? So what tends to happen is, you've got you on the left-hand side here, and you've got your products and services, and you're kind of shouting about it like it's a list on a menu or something. And, you've got the marketplace on the right-hand side, and they just don't care, right? It's not solving any of their problems. And we see this all of the time. So, people will say, oh, hey, are you interested in social media marketing? Are you interested in, web design? Or are you interested in this? Are you interested in that? And the reality is, people aren't interested in those things, are they? Otherwise, you wouldn't probably be watching this video, and there'd be no need for our services and things like that. So people just want their problem solved. And if we can do that, everything becomes so much easier. We just make it all about them and not about us. See, most of the messages is kind of what we would call like a me message, where it's just, this is what we do, and we do this, and we're the best at this, and me all the time. But the client doesn't care. The client only cares about themselves, right? Human beings, typically, we only really care about ourselves in a lot of situations. So we've got to start thinking about, getting inside of our prospects' minds, if that makes sense. Getting inside of what they want, and how we can ultimately go and help them. So, the whole we've got fish, or this is what we do, that's kind of aligned with a spray and pray tactic. What you're essentially doing at that point is you're just trying to reach as many people, and you're just trying to say, hey, look, this is what we do. Is this something of interest? You're not really solving a problem for anyone, and you're going to have to reach mass numbers for this to kind of work out for you, right? And it's just not pretty. It's not really worth it. There's just much better strategies to go out there and use to sell more. To sell, it doesn't have to be digital products or services. Could literally be anything. Coaching, consulting, like my SaaS business. I'm sure if you've watched any of the other content, I would have talked about that. It doesn't matter. It's just about solving a client's problem. That's the only thing that matters. So really what we have to have is some kind of laser focus, right? We have to identify who the prospects are. What do they want? What kind of fish do they like? What is it that they want? What are they trying to achieve? What problems do they have? Where they're located, that's pretty simple. And then we just change our message, right? According to the data, according to what we've found out from our research. So the worst example I could think of this, and some of you guys again might have seen, an example about this through some of our other content, which is just how to sell boats through direct messages, right? I mean, I am going to pretty much assume that nobody watching this has ever received a message about, buying a boat. And if it did come to you, you'd probably think, why on earth am I receiving this message? Unless you were in this specific niche which we identified. So the specific niche, and if you guys have watched any of my content before, you will know that I like fishing. So I knew that there's a pocket niche right here for, companies that sell boats and anglers like myself who actually, this is my boat. I sold this one, but anyway, this was a boat of mine. Who need boats to, ultimately locate fish. Right? That's just a problem. I don't care what the boat looks like. In fact, this boat had like a window missing and all the rest of it. It didn't look pretty, but I didn't want it for that. I only wanted it for a very, very, very specific reason. All my friends wanted it for a specific reason. I ended up renting this boat out, and we started booking it out online. And the people, they just wanted it for a specific reason. And so this is pretty much how it works, right? The boat just solved the problem. Nobody, we don't care about what it looks like. We just care, that we know we're limited to, the areas that we can fish. And if we had a boat there, it would solve that problem, right? So I've identified a niche with a problem, if that makes sense. River anglers that want to be able to locate more fish in other areas of the river that are inaccessible to most of them. And so from reverse engineering, the customers were able to go to the market and essentially sell more. So you've got us, the business, right, on the right hand side. In the middle, you've got your products, your services. On the left hand side, on the top line here, you've got your market. You've got people that like fishing on rivers, or obviously this is going to differ to you, but in this example. So once we've identified the niche and the problem, we then just find out where these people are online. It is so simple. We find out where these people are online, we create a message, and we start selling more products and services. Okay, so I found river carp fishing groups with over 10,000 people, added all of them as friends, Send them a message. Hey, I can see I can see you're based in this location. I can see you're doing this. I can see you're part of this group. Is this a problem that you're experiencing right now? We have a combo package, a boat with an engine. It can do this, it can do that. It's a trailer, you can move it. All of the rest of it, right? All the features and, or some of the features and benefits, but mainly talking about the problem. If you could, access more of the river, if you could do this, is that something that you'd be interested in for maybe X, Y, and Z price? You get the picture, right? It's a pocket niche that had a problem and this, this boat, this product, it could appeal to everyone, but we're looking for niches with pains and problems to solve. So that's kind of how it works. And honestly, the results of that it's just ridiculous, right? You're able to go to the market and start selling things which is typically a buy. People normally buy boats. People don't normally get sold a boat through a direct message, but it can be done. Is essentially what I'm saying. It's a horrible example, and I made it a horrible example because it's quite a tricky one. But this is how it works, right? In every single business, we basically run through the same process. Who's the niche? What's the pain? What's the problem? How can we solve it for them? Because we know that's all they care about. So to sell more products and services, basically we just reverse engineer our clients, right? It's pretty simple. So if you look at a buying situation, when you're, when you're going to Google, right? You've got a problem and you're looking for a specific solution to that problem. It's already in your mind. You're going to Google with intent. So what we have to do at this point in order to kind of create a selling environment is just go to the market with a problem that we know the niche already has, and then just present the solution. And the easiest way to do that is just look at our current clients. What problems were they experiencing? What did they want? What were the outcomes that they were trying to achieve? Identify that, and then create messages and go to the market and start selling. Honestly, it is that simple. It's a pretty simple process. And I used to have a punting company in Cambridge. Again, if you watch some of my content, it's going to be in there. But ultimately, we typically had 3 types of clients, right? And what we would do is we'd change our message or our pitch, if you will, depending on who we were prospecting to. So we get a lot of Chinese tourists in Cambridge, and they were there to specifically see a Chinese poet or a poem. That was engraved on one of the bridges. So when we were speaking to Chinese people, that was the pitch, if you like. When we were speaking to like an older English couple, they were typically more interested in the history, Henry VIII, Henry VI, Henry VII, things like that, right? They were more interested in the colleges, the history and the heritage of those colleges as well. And if we were speaking to a group of guys or girls, maybe 18, 20, 24, something like that, they would typically be more interested in just, having a relaxing time on a boat, having a couple of drinks, maybe a few pims, and just getting punted around, right? So the pitch would just change is ultimately what we're saying. So by understanding our customers very, very quickly, we'd just change the pitch depending on who we're speaking to, and it just became a hell of a lot easier at that point. It's just having this one blanket pitch that we say to everyone. We look at our customers and we decide or figure out what they actually wanted and then sell them what they want. It's really the easiest way. So once you've understand your customers' pains and problems, this is where you're creating an irresistible offer. What we get a lot of the time, and it's completely understandable, is, well, Matt, how many leads can I generate per month? And really, what that boils down to, it boils down to your offer. Okay, if I had gone to the boat company without already, identifying a sub-niche that had a pain and a problem, and I said, hey, I think we can sell more of your boats through direct messages, they're probably going to laugh. They're going to say, well, who's going to want to buy these boats? And people will come to us when they're ready to buy one. But, that obviously just wasn't true. By understanding these niches, we can go to a market with a problem and start selling a solution, right? Creating our irresistible offer to the market. And this really is what it's all about. So if you have this dialed in, you can generate 50, even 100 leads a month. If you don't have this dialed in, you can generate no leads, right? That's pretty much how it works. So we want to just be able to go to the market and sell. What I see a lot of clients do is that they're waiting for people just to come and buy, and they tend to rely on referrals and things like that. And it's not scalable at all. In fact, they're probably worrying about where the next client's coming from, and it's just kind of this horrible process. So in any business of mine, at least, I have to be able to go to the market and sell things. I don't want, to wait for people just to walk in and buy. I'd rather go and sell. So I'm proactive about doing that. And so here's what I would recommend. Once you've got everything dialed in, once niche, offer, result, pain, problems, outcomes you provide, hopefully tangibles, you will go to the market, you'll start selling more. This is the two ways to do it if you're operating in a B2B capacity. One's with email and one's with LinkedIn. So email, I would recommend at the start of your campaign, you target 1,000 people through email and 1,000 people through LinkedIn. Typically, you'll get around about 60% open rates through email, especially if you're personalizing at scale. 5% of those might turn into leads. Okay, now that's pretty much on the low end. And that's 30 leads coming into the business per month. Now, I've had it up to 35% before with some clients because we've really dialed in that niche and their problem. And so when we go to the market, it's just such an attractive offer. People come back to us, right, very quickly. Now, if you haven't got that, you might be looking at a 1%. It could be a 1% response rate, in which case, you might be generating 6 leads a month from LinkedIn, right, or email. So it's going to depend ultimately on how well you understand your market and your niche. And we do have processes here that will help you do that. With LinkedIn as well, 1,000, you're going to send out 1,000 connections per month. You're looking at around about 40% connection rate. Again, for this example here, guys, 5% are going to turn into leads. So on average, you're generating around 50 leads per month coming into the business. And all the while, this is without any advertising spend. You're not spending all this money on Google or Facebook to try and bring these customers in. You're just going to the market in an organic way. You're pretty much generating these guys for free. So from 50 leads, hopefully we're going to see a 10% conversion rate to sales. So 5 sales in a month, which is, fantastic. You might be selling a 10 or 2 grand product or service that you bill monthly for. So you can quickly see how you can start increasing your sales very quickly, increasing, your revenues very quickly, just from, identifying markets and leveraging 2 different platforms that are virtually free to use anyway. So one thing that you will want to have is a longer term strategy as well. So 10% of purchase, that's absolutely fantastic. And it might be more than that, right? It could be 20%, could be 30%, depending on what your offer is. Or it might be 5%, okay? But I'm going to use 10% as an average. Obviously, we have 90% here that haven't purchased. We know they have a problem, but they haven't purchased right now. And so we want to have a long-term strategy in order to stay in front of them time and time again. Pretty much what I'm doing here, guys. I'm sharing, valuable content with you, or hopefully you're finding it of value. And, I'm staying in front of you time and time again. So it might be 2 years from now that you're thinking, right, I definitely need someone to help me with my lead generation. I'm going to go to these guys. You've been watching my content for 2 years by that point, and you're like, these are the guys that can help me. So, I don't have to keep prospecting to you. I don't have to follow up with you every month and saying, hey, John, you still interested? And just annoying you with just a direct email every couple of months or something like that. You're following up with prospects in a valuable way, and you're building trust with them over the long term. These emails, this strategy is going to be your best source of leads. And if you don't have this, what you're going to end up doing is just churning through appointment after appointment after appointment, trying to generate more and more all the time. And you've got this massive hole, right, in your bucket is essentially what you've got. And you've got to be able to plug that. So having a long-term strategy where you can nurture people with valuable information, valuable content over time is really going to help you. Once you build out that audience, once you've got all that data, you just want to start leveraging it and using it in every way you can. So you can start generating a lot more clients further down the road. So, we do this for our own business. Obviously, you're watching this content. We do this for the clients that we work with in the B2C market. We build our own brands. We build out all of these email campaigns. It just works over and over again. The best source of leads are people that we've spoke to or maybe become a lead, didn't turn into a client, have been, seeing our content, looking at our videos, looking at our emails, and then 6 months or a year down the road, they raise their hand and they say, Matt, I've got this problem. I can see that you've helped, so many clients do it. I can see that you are the go-to guy in my industry to help me do this. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about how we can do business. Those are the best leads. I can tell you right now from, Facebook ads that we run, from anything that we run, those long-term email strategies are going to be the most valuable leads that you can possibly have inside of your business. So if you're not using some kind of long-term strategy, you are missing out on an absolute ton of money. You're pretty much just leaving it on the table, to be absolutely honest. So your leads can mature over time. You want your leads to mature over time. That's where you're building all of the trust. That's where you're building all of the value, all of the goodwill, and that's really what's going to help you when it comes to selling more, essentially, right? And just not targeting people over and over and over again from scratch, if that makes sense. So, again, guys, look, if this is something of interest, if this video kind of makes sense for you and your business right now, then you can book a time to speak with us. We have various different solutions here. We don't, we offer a done for you service, so we can do this for you. We have different programs, we have consulting. It just depends, right? If this is a problem that you're experiencing ultimately and you need help with it, then we'd absolutely love to just have a conversation and see if it is something that we feel like we can help with. Now, I'm going to be completely transparent. We don't take everyone on as a client. If we don't feel like we can help you, then we'll just be completely upfront and honest, and we'll tell you exactly why we can't help you and what we think you would probably need to fix in order to go to the market and start selling. So if it is something that you're interested in, guys, then fantastic. As I say, book a time to speak with us. We'd absolutely love to hear from you. And if it's something that you're interested in, then yeah, we'll look forward to jumping on that call. Anyway, I hope you found this video of value. If you have any questions or anything, or you just want to ping me and you've got a couple of questions, then just drop me an email and we'll take it from there.